Sanchez, 125.86. She may be looking on record pace.
You mentioned one thing in there that you felt a lot of pressure. How do you deal with that?
Sanchez touches first again at the halfway point. 56.85 is her time.
Why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? And that can be for anyone. For me, it was my family.
Sanchez, 25.85. She breaks the U Sports record by 1/100th of a second.
So what can I do every day that would put me ahead is something I like to think about.
Hey everyone, Jamie here. Welcome to Flame Bearers Unedited, a brand new series bringing to you largely unedited conversations. We heard you loud and clear. You want to hear more stories of more elite women athletes from around the world. So let's jump in.
Hi, I'm Kayla Sanchez. I went to the Tokyo Olympic Games representing Canada, and I went to Paris representing the Philippines. I've been a swimmer for most of my life. I'm now a student varsity athlete at the University of British Columbia, and that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Okay, so Kayla, catch us up to speed. How did you first get into swimming?
I first got into swimming the typical community lessons. I'd walk there with my aunt because there was a pool close by to our house.
Fast forward to Tokyo. You said you were representing Canada and then you later switched to the Philippines. So how did that happen?
I started with the community lessons and I got up and kept leveling up, and they told my parents, hey, maybe you should try competitive swimming. So I kind of went through the competitive swimming route and was just going from learning what a swim meet was to age group provincials to nationals, and I kind of progressed onto the international stage. I was nurtured by a high performance center here and over where I lived in Ontario, and made my first Olympic team, and then kind of had a big decision to make in regards to what I was going to do, my next steps, will my journey entail, and I wanted to honor my family and represent the Philippines. It was a hard decision. It kind of just shaped my whole life, changing nationalities, and I still get to see everyone that I've seen before, and I feel the love and the support. So it's been a pretty cool ride.
Can we dig into that a little bit more if you're game for sharing? So are both of your parents Filipino? And then what did that mean to you to change nationalities for your competitive swim team?
Oh man, yeah. So both my parents are Filipino. They immigrated to Canada when I was 3 years old. I don't remember a lot from that, but I was nurtured pretty Filipino. My dad comes from the province in the Philippines where they're known for their cooking, and that was pretty awesome. So I grew up eating the best Filipino food. Manny Pacquiao was fighting when I was probably around 10, and those parties were fun. I always felt close to my Filipino side, even though I'd leave my house and go to school and be amongst just a diverse group of people. Yeah. Huge decision because I was nurtured in Canada. A lot of the relationships and the foundations that I had were in Canada. And so to go off and to kind of dive headfirst into a process that I didn't really know what was going to happen, the uncertainty of it all, I got to learn more about myself and what was important to me. I guess it's just a whole jimble jamble of things.
That's so cool. And are you happy that you made that decision looking back and where you are today?
Yeah, totally. I think it taught me to be more independent. It taught me to vouch for myself and to honor myself.
So?
With Team Canada, there were a lot of things like, for example, knowing the pool times for meals, kind of general logistical things that were already kind of handed to me. A good way to kind of get a grip on the international stage of what I needed to do when to perform the best. And getting onto the Filipino team, I kind of had to figure those things out for myself. The good thing is that I knew what I needed. It's just how can I take those steps myself to improve my performance?
It's super interesting interesting that you say that. We've worked with athletes from 55 countries, and the experience from one country to another is not the same. So that's definitely something that we've heard from other athletes. And I know you've recently been breaking a lot of Filipino records. So for those who haven't been following your journey as closely as we have, tell us about these amazing records that you've been shattering.
Yeah, I had I think my 100 free in Paris was a Filipino record. I was half a second off my personal best, and I was really proud of that. I think it was a long year, and I felt a lot of pressure to perform. I was trusting in my coach, I was trusting in my process, and I dove in, and it was a good swim. So I'll take what I can get. And then I swam short course meters, which is what my school races for university sports championships. And the Philippines doesn't really have a short course meter record book officially.
Okay.
So a lot of the races that I would swim, we kind of would just update the times and...
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely massive. Congratulations. And that is a huge deal. You mentioned one thing in there that you felt a lot of pressure leading up to Paris. How do you deal with that? We have so many aspiring Olympians and Paralympians who tune in every week, and they want to be in your shoes and are feeling this pressure that you kind of alluded to. What tips would you give them?
I think I can say for swimming that it's the same for a lot of sports. You give everything you have into training, and sometimes you prepare the best you can and you get to a meet and your performance isn't what you want it to be. And how many times can you go through something like that before you get super nervous to stand up and to perform, or to what are people expecting from me? What am I expecting for myself? And I think that's a really tough place to be in. What helped me is at first was reaching out to the right support system. So kind of grounding myself in, why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? And that can be for anyone. For me, it was my family and for my love of the sport. And I would say it's definitely a big mindset shift and a reset. But once you find it and you remember why you're doing what you're doing, then achieve your goals.
I absolutely love that you mentioned something in there that you do this for your family and for your love of the sport. So tell us about your family. You've already mentioned a little bit about your parents.
My dad is an engineer. My mom's a nurse. I have a little sister, and she just started high school. She's in the IB program, so she's smart. And like, she's killing it.
Gotta be really smart for that.
She's killing it. Some of the smartest people I knew joined the IB program and dropped out, and she's there like, I got a 96, and I'm like, oh my God, come on.
Crushing it.
You're amazing. But that's my family, and a lot of my mom's brothers and sisters, so my aunts and uncles, have also immigrated to Canada. But there's also a huge chunk of my family that's still in the Philippines. So whether or not I'm in the Philippines or in Canada, I always feel like I have my family around me, which is awesome.
What did it mean to your family that you compete on behalf of the Philippines? I imagine that meant a lot to you, but obviously to all the individuals in your community as well.
They've always been so supportive, and even with swimming, it was just an activity at first, and then I started to progress, and my goals were trying to make the Olympic team, and they've always just supported me through everything. So I'm super grateful.
So you're currently in university, you're breaking records. What are your hopes for the future?
So actually going back to almost that burnout kind of feeling of how many times can I perform? I'm not seeing what I want. It's led me to think, okay, what else? And I had become a pro swimmer pretty much around 16, where I was swimming. School was pretty remote, and a lot of my time was just home, sleep, pool, gym, sleep, eat. And so now I'm in university and I get to pursue a degree. My mom's a nurse. I don't know if that's influencing my decision to wanting to be a nurse, but I actually genuinely enjoy university. I think it might be the people that are inspiring me every day and just motivating me to achieve my own goals. But yeah, I guess I'll just be here trying to pursue my degree while I swim, which takes me to LA 2028. And yeah, that's kind of my journey right now.
We will definitely be there. You mentioned potentially being influenced by your mom. What is your degree in? Is your degree in nursing related?
So right now I'm in the Bachelor of Arts. I'm in my first year. The nursing program at UBC is very competitive and the schedule is very vigorous. I'm not sure it'll work with my preparation for the LA 2028 games. So I might get a bachelor's degree in something else, just pursue my bachelor's degree, and post 2028 really put everything I have into that nursing program.
I think that's a really important part to talk about. Is a lot of people aren't really aware of like the trade-offs that elite athletes have to make. So you mentioned like that it's a very rigorous competitive program, that the schedule is really tough. As you are looking forward to LA, what are the different things that you're starting or already are juggling?
The kind of the lead up schedule of meets. Yeah, it's already in kind of view, which sets me up for LA 2028. It is only 1 year after the last one, so this is considered the chill year, but
Are you taking some time for you? Are you doing something that's like a timeout?
Not really, but I'm considering kind of my varsity experience my timeout, because truthfully, swimming with the team is so enjoyable. I'm having so much fun racing here, and it's keeping me in line with other goals that I have for this meet schedule heading into LA 2028.
I want to follow up on something you said, is that it's really enjoyable right now swimming with your team. One thing that we hear certain athletes face is this battle with kind of like a love-hate relationship with their sport. What advice would you give to people who are kind of sitting in that, tussling with that?
That's so valid, because there are mornings I wake up for morning practice and I think, why? What am I doing? And I really don't want to go. And I would really rather sleep. And I think it's important to honor what you need for your well-being, because that comes first. But also, if you have a goal in mind, for example, I'll use me as an example. I have a couple meets this year. There's the SEA Games, Southeast Asian Games in Thailand, that the Philippines is a part of. And I know that meet is really important to the Philippines, and performing well would make me happy. That's one of my goals. And kind of just keeping that in mind. And yeah, how can I out-train my competitors?
Ooh.
They're training too at the same time, but we're just not together. So what can I do every day that would put me ahead is something I like to think about.
Kayla, there's a couple questions that we like to ask all of our guests. The first is what your hopes are for the future of women's sports. We're seeing women's sports blow up globally right now, and it literally makes me so happy. I could jump up and down. But what is the world of women's sports that you want to see?
Exposure, celebration. I love seeing so much more about the WNBA, which is so cool. Women's tennis. I guess just exposure is so important, because sometimes people, or at least for me, I'll open my phone and I'll see nothing. So following the right accounts and just keeping in tune with everything just makes the difference for me. But it's so cool to see women succeed.
And you are a big part of that. I think of you very much as a leader within the space of sports, women's sports. And one thing we like to ask is what you would tell your younger self. If younger Kayla was sitting next to you, what would you want to tell her?
Believe in yourself. You can do it. And I'm proud of you.
Oh, it's giving me goosebumps. Last question that we like to ask everyone is what one action you want people to take after hearing your story. So it can be something that relates to you personally. It can be something that you want them to do for themselves. But what one thing do you want our community to do after listening to your story?
Vouch for yourself. I think what you believe and what you feel is it. So trust your gut, and I'm cheering for you.
Thanks for tuning in to Flame Bearers Unedited. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review on your favorite podcasting platform or YouTube. If you want to see more behind the scenes coverage, follow us on social media. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, whatever platform you're on, we're there too. Thanks, and we'll catch you on our next episode.